Hello, dear children. Okay, am I audible? Let me see. Yes, it's audible, right? So we quickly wrap up through all the MCQ questions which have come for the South Zone PU2 Midterm examination for biology. And my dear children, you can check on your answers with me. Let's wait for some time so that everyone can join. Okay, we'll wait for just 1 minute. How were your exams? I hope it was good. So there are so many questions that came from the short video that I made out there. So hi Nagraj. And children who have subscribed to this channel would only be able to reply, type their messages over here in the chat box, and make sure you are subscribing to the channel as well. So it's on subscribers only mode. We'll start the video in another 1 minute. We'll just wait for some time. So those of you who have your exams later on, you can refer to this particular paper as well. It's a good paper. The questions are really thoughtful about it. Okay, let's begin then. The first question that we have over here is, in a flower of tomato plant following the process of sexual reproduction produces 240 viable seeds. How many seeds are there? 240. So how many male gametes were involved in this case? My dear children, if at all you are saying 240 seeds, how is a seed formed? Two things are happening. One male gamete is going to fuse with a female gamete. Another male gamete is going to fuse with what? The polar nuclei out there. So these two things happens. This forms the zygote, and now you will call the ovule containing the zygote to be what? Seed. So you have to calculate, if 240 seeds are being formed, you have to imagine 2 male gametes are going to come. So 240 into 2, your answer would be 480 for this particular question. D is your answer. Meenakshi is saying paper was very tough. Is it? Yeah, MCQ questions were actually very, thoughtful. But the other questions, 5 marker, 2 marker, I think it was on the easier side. Okay, but anyways, let's go ahead. Next question. Statement 1. Male and female gametes in the flowering plants are produced in the embryo sac and the pollen grains respectively. So do you think the male is produced in the embryo sac and the female gametes are produced in the pollen grains? It's wrong. It's like bit twisted out there. So it should have been female and then male. So statement 1 would be wrong. Okay, statement 1 would be wrong because of the positioning of the male and the female. So here if it was female first and then male, then the answer would have been, the statement would have been correct. Now the integuments present over the nucellus in a megasporangium are protective in function. Do you think integuments are there for protection? The answer is again yes. So statement 1 is false, but statement 2 is correct. Okay, statement 1 is false, statement 2 is correct for this particular question. Okay. So here you do not have an option like that. Only statement 1 is correct. Only statement 2 is correct is there. Both statement 1 and 2 is correct. Both statement 1 and 2 are incorrect. So only statement 2 is the one which is correct. You can go with option B. Okay? Cool. Next question out there. Yes, Nagraj. Now identify the parts labeled as A, B, C, D in the given figure of the sectional view of ovary. So obviously the first thing that comes up over here in the middle would be what? The blood vessels. So A is blood vessels. So I have two options like that. One is this and the other one is this. So I'll exclude these two options. I do not need them. Now in between them, what is correct? So what is B? B has to be Graafian follicle, and as you can see, Graafian follicle ruptures to produce the ovum, actually secondary oocyte. Okay, so B would be the Graafian follicle. So over here B is Graafian follicle, but over here B is ovum. So this is wrong option. Answer B is correct. Your option number B would be the correct answer for this particular question. And those of you, my dear children, who have not shared the video with others who are given the examination, please share so that everyone can watch this. Okay. So yes, and then comes ovum, and after that whatever is left behind is known as corpus luteum. So question number 3, the answer is B. You are correct, Nagraj. Now try this question. Column 1 contains terms and column 2. Okay. So column 1 is parturition, gestation, ovulation and implantation, and you have to go, parturition is what? Parturition is delivery of the fetus. That is what you mean by parturition. So A goes with 3. A goes with 3. Do I have an option like that? Yes, 2 options. So these 2 are excluded anyways. Now gestation means the formation of the baby, the duration between the pregnancy as well as the birth. So your answer for gestation would be 4. So B goes with 4. I just have one option like that, which is why D will be the correct answer. Okay, D would be the correct answer. Ovulation means release of egg from the Graafian follicle. And implantation, my dear children, is what? Attachment of zygote to form the towards the endometrium. Okay. So your answer for this question would be D. Cool? Fine. I hope this is done. Next question. Which of the following is not a characteristics of an ideal contraceptive? Which one is not a characteristics of ideal contraceptive? User friendly, obviously it has to be irreversible. Wrong statement. It should be reversible, right? And easily available and least side effects. So these 3 things should be there. This is something that is not a characteristics of what you call of the ideal contraceptive. Meenakshi ma'am, please discuss the whole paper. Yes, surely. Okay. I'll be a bit fast, but I'll try to discuss it. Going ahead with the next question out there, which of the following contraceptives are implanted under the skin? Now this again I gave you in the short video, okay? So this picture is usually being asked and this is implant. So your answer for this question is D. This is what you put under the skin. Okay, your answer for this question would be D. Fine. Going ahead with the 7th question, which of the following is or are responsible for infertility in humans? Now, it's a simple question, but sometimes children think more about it and get it wrong. So, psychological factors, immunological factors, congenital means genetic, okay, genetic factors or all of this. But all of this can be reason for what? Infertility. It's given in your NCERT, this particular statement. Okay, so 7th question answer is D. It would be D. Fine. Going ahead, from the sexually transmitted diseases mentioned below, identify the ones which does not specifically affect the sex organs. Which are not going to specifically affect the sex organs. What is the answer for this question? 7th D. Okay. 8. Try to solve the 8th question, my dear children. So STD is mentioned and you are asked which of them is not going to affect the sex organs specifically. So syphilis, it does, okay, gonorrhea, it does, genital warts, it does, but as you all know, AIDS is not something like that. AIDS affects your T helper cells and basically if T helper cells are affected, your whole immunity is lost, okay. So your answer for this question is B, AIDS. Fine. Going ahead with the next question, an allele is said to be recessive when it is expressed in. When it is expressed in, an allele is said to be recessive. When do you think alleles are said to be recessive, my dear children? When both of them are going to be same. What do you call this condition as? Homozygous condition. Okay, they are going to only express in homozygous condition. So your answer for this question would be 9th. The answer is B. You are asked when it is expressed in heterozygous condition, an allele is not expressed if it is recessive. Okay, so if at all over here it was dominant, then your answer would have been C. Over here the answer is B. 9th answer is B. Don't get it wrong. Small things. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead with the next question. That is this. In certain taxon of insects, some have 17 chromosomes and the others have 18 chromosomes. The 17 and 18 chromosome bearing organisms are what? So 17 chromosome, my dear children, if at all, and it is mentioned, it is insects. In insects, you know, the females are XX and the males are XO. XO means there is one less chromosome out there. So over here, this has to be the higher number 18 and this would be the lower number 17. So this is male and this would be female. So your answer for this question would be what? 17 chromosomes, 17, 18 chromosome bearing organisms are males and females respectively. So your answer is A. Okay? Yes, Meenakshi, kudos. Correct. Now next question, histone-octamer. So refer the given figure of nucleosome and select the option that correctly identifies part A, B and C. What is the answer for this question? So what is A, my dear children? It's the ball of what? Histone proteins. You call them histone-octamer because 8 histone molecules are going to come here. So your answer for this question is, so over here you have these 2 options because both of them have histone-octamer. This is eliminated. Now next thing, what is B? B is the DNA which is wrapping around it, right? B is the DNA. So here it is correct. Here it is H1 histone. H1 histone is mentioned to be C. So this thing that you see is the H1 histone there. So your answer would be C. Your answer for this particular question is C. Yes, Nagraj, yes, Meenakshi. So children who are watching this video and are not able to comment down, please subscribe to the channel, then only you will be able to write down your answers. Okay? Going ahead to the next question out there. That is this. The sequence of structural genes in the lac operon is. What is the sequence of genes? I have already told you. Remember, zyada. Zyada. So Z, Y and A. Lac Z, lac Y and lac A. So your answer for this question would be this. D. Okay? Cool? Fine. Going ahead with the next question. Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium is known to be affected by gene flow, genetic drift, genetic mutation, genetic recombination, and what? There is one more thing to it. There is one more reason why Hardy-Weinberg principle is not being followed, and that would be natural selection. Okay, natural selection can also change the alleles frequency out there. So the answer for this question would be D. 13th answer is D. Cool? Let's go ahead with the next question. 14th, second last MCQ which is there. Evolution of life shows that life had a trend of moving from what to what. So we all know, my dear children, first come fishes, from fishes came amphibians, from amphibians came reptiles, from reptiles came aves, and then what do you call mammals. So basically from fishes which was there in water, we moved to land. So it is water to land transition that you can see. So your answer for this question would be D, water to land. Okay, yes, Meenakshi. Okay, cool. Now the last MCQ question which is there. Which of the following pairs correctly matches a disease and the pathogen causing it? This question we have done in the MCQ portion in the live. Okay. Answer for this is what this? Typhoid, Salmonella typhi. This is the only one correct. Pneumonia is not caused by Haemophilus pneumoniae. It would be Haemophilus influenzae. Okay. Malaria is caused by Plasmodium. And ringworm is not caused by Entamoeba histolytica. So your only answer is A. Yes, Miss Devil, the answer is 15 for answer is A. Cool. Let's go ahead. So my dear children, those of you who have not subscribed, subscribe to it and you will be able to answer it. I'm telling you again. Cool. Chalo. Now we have the fill in the blanks question. The persistent nucellus present in some seeds. I told you it's still there. It is there for the nourishment, and you call this as what? You call this as perisperm. So this would be answer for your 16th question. Perisperm is the answer for the 16th question. Going ahead, next one. Experimental verification of chromosomal theory of inheritance was done by T.H. Morgan. So T.H. Morgan would be the 17th answer. Okay, now in a DNA strand of nucleotides are linked together by the nucleotides which are there. What do they have? Hi Preetham, yes. Perisperm, perisperm. 17th Morgan. Okay, try this. Try this question. In a DNA strand, the nucleotides are linked together by what? They are linked together by phosphodiester linkage. So your answer for this question would be 18. Again, we have studied the structure of this, right? Yes, Preetham, you're correct. Next question. The study of fossils as evidence of evolution is known as. The study of fossils as evidence of evolution is known as paleontology. If at all there are any Friends fan up there, Friends series fan, you know that Ross was a paleontologist, right? He studied fossils. So your answer for this question would be, what do you call this, is 19th question. Okay? Paleontology. Now last thing, the sporozoite stage of Plasmodium is formed inside. Hi Akash. Okay, the sporozoite, what do you call? Am I missing something? Okay, yeah. Sporozoite stage of Plasmodium is formed inside female mosquito. Yes, the answer is female mosquito. Sakina, good afternoon, dear. Yes, I'm doing really good. I hope you are also doing fine. Okay, so these are the answers for your fill in the blanks. Now we are going ahead with the 2 marker, 3 marker. So the questions which are difficult, I'll just let them read that. Rest all of it is fine, right? So what are the finger-like projections present on the edges of infundibulum known as? It is known as fimbriae. What do you call them? Fimbriae. And what does fimbriae do? Collect the ovum when ovulation happens. Next question. Where do the signals for parchination originate from in the humans? I told you fetal ejection reflex. That means both placenta and fetus are involved. So you have to give your answer like that. Okay. What do you call? Fetus as well as the placenta. This is known as fetal ejection reflex. Now why is it important to feed the newborn babies on colostrum? Because it has. The first milk of mother has what? IgA. A for Amma. right? IgA antibody is there. This is passive immunity. So if at all you are explaining about passive immunity, if you're telling about IgA, it will be really, really good because it has antibody A. Good, good, good. Yes, yes, Meenakshi, I'm doing it. Okay. Now, why there is a statutory ban on amniocentesis? We discussed why, because over here with the help of amniocentesis, you can know the sex of the child, and if at all it was female, the females were killed. That is the reason. Female feticide was happening. Mention this term, then you will get marks. So why this technique is named so? Why do you call this amniocentesis? So over here you are going to take the amniotic fluid which is around the embryo, which is around the fetus. There is an amniotic fluid. You're going to take that. That is why it is known as amniocentesis. Okay. Fine. So that is your answer. Now going ahead to the next question. What is test cross? So test cross is basically when you have to tell that you see a dominant phenotype. The phenotype, the physical nature is dominant, but you do not know the genotype. The genotype can be heterozygous like this, or it can be homozygous like this. So for that, what do? You basically, whatever plant is there, you cross it with the parent plant which is recessive. Homozygous recessive parent plant, you cross it with that. Suppose small t, small t. This is known as test cross. And depending on whatever you're going to get, the results, my dear children, it is going to be varied here and here. When you cross this with this, you get different type of progenies. When you cross this with this, you get different type of progenies. And with that, you get to know whether the plant is tall like this or tall like this. Okay? So cross between F1 hybrid and the recessive parent. Exactly, Preetham. Okay, and please make sure you tell about all this thing, that the phenotype is dominant nature and step by step. Okay, so 2 mark question, so you don't need much explanation, but basic things are needed. Cool. Next, identify the symbols A and B in the following figure. So what is A? Here sex is not identified, but this particular person, since the shade is there, that particular person is diseased as well. Over here, what do you mean by that? One square and one circle and 2 lines in between. It is known as consanguineous meeting. What do you call consanguineous meeting? First of all, listen to me. This is not female. This is sex unspecified. You not know the sex, which is why you have things like this. When it is a female, it is like this, right? And over here, since you see these 2 lines, you call this consanguineous meeting. That means mating is happening between 2 relatives. And both of them here are affected as well, if at all it's colored. Okay, and so that can be a printing thing as well, but anyways, since it is colored, you mentioned that they are diseased. Okay, fine. Going ahead, if the base adenine constitutes 31 of an isolated DNA fragment, then what is the percentage of base cytosine in it? So adenine is given to be 31. So what is thymine? Thymine would also be 31, my dear children. This is going to be equal. Now you plus this. What is this? It comes out to be 62. Okay, it comes out to be 62, and total percentage will always be 100. We are considering it to be 100, right? So 62 minus 100, whatever number comes, you can divide between 2 of them. Yes, marriage between relatives, my dear children.